Hey guys, hopefully this will work. I knew it was going to get windy today, and I've been kind of working and being in the woods and hiking, and I made a video earlier today, and I felt it. It was really special. But I had a problem, and I think the phone reception is not good, and the video gets debunked, and halfway through it goes into slow motion. But I don't know what's happening, so. Anyway, hopefully this one makes it through. But now I'm sort of repeating something that I felt. That can't happen. So I don't know what I'm saying. And actually, I don't need these in either. I don't know what I'm saying. So I'm certainly not going to try to go the route of like thinking mind regurgitating things. That's a good point. I don't know if everybody's sort of aware of that, but it'll become aware to you. It is aware. It is within your awareness, but maybe we just don't talk about it much. But when I'm thinking of a story, well, let's put it this way with my hands. When I'm thinking of a story, gears are clicking, regurgitation mode, then none of the magic happens. You're in autopilot. Your body is living totally not aware of the moment. You're in autopilot, you're not sensing your emotions at all, and you're letting your thinking brain, do all the clicking. It's not what it's made for. You need to quiet that one down and get tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Get this connection to your higher self, to the light of divinity, to whatever you want. I have a little bit of hesitancy in putting it off and calling it Jesus or something like that. I think he's more of a person to model after. He's not a calling card that you have the calling card, you know him and he shows up and gets you, or you don't. But we could get a lot into how we're following his lead. But certainly he was big on getting tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And had been spoken of how he would come out of the desert, which is the most powerful way to get tuned in, tapped in, turned on, is to just go to, no food, no drink intake at all, and just working off that, just focusing on that vibrational love energy. And might as well hit this point real quick. This has come to my mind a bunch of times, but it's interesting how I got sort of led into the fruit thing. I've always been a healthy guy, and fruit's always been a big thing, but I never really ate a lot of fruit, and it's always been mixed up with that controversy of is it carbs, and I'm racing mountain bikes, and whatever. So it definitely takes some effort to dial in where hopefully this wind doesn't get to be too much. At least it's not raining still. It poured down rain earlier, but I have what I called, I'm not going to go down that tangent, but anyway, I dodged the last rain and it was perfect, and I'm just loving how life works things out. But I couldn't even drive. The rain was coming down so hard. I've got rain gear, rain pants, rain waterproof shoes, the whole thing. And there's nothing better than being stuck out in the woods when it's raining. But there's a point where it's like, I actually have to get a little bit of work done, and the wind, blowing rain up under my jacket is not probably what I needed. So, back to the meat of the matter. Why would you want to get focused in on this tuned in, tapped in energy source as opposed to the thinking mind toiling through stuff, busyness? It's not just busyness, but it's a whole thing of how you think and how you talk to other people. And your thinking mind is what's going when you're listening to someone else. When you're not being present when someone else is speaking, your thinking mind is thinking, oh, I have some stories that go along with that. Oh, I have something that touches something on me. That's interesting. That's not interesting. This is boring. Whatever your mind's going into, that you're not being present with the moment, so you can't really be listening to the other person. And let me stretch my arm out more. You don't have to be looking at, counting my eyelashes or something. But anyway, plus the view is just a lot better. And the wind's kicking up, so I'm sort of squirreling in, but what difference does it make? The cameras, actually, I went a pro tip and I used my microphone. If this was just my phone, forget it. Hopefully it's going to work, though. But it is a beautiful day. It always is. Here's one that I was wanting to chew on with you, and I'm sorry this is a little bit broken up today. because sometimes I like to have like just a couple things that I really energetically feel like I want to share, and then I start with those and it just rolls. And not that it isn't rolling, the words probably seem the same, but I'm a little bit too much in the intellectual vibration, I can tell. So you guys can take these videos and dissect them later and try to figure out where you are on the journey. But getting back to this, when I'm tuned in, turned on, tapped in, turned on, and connected, everything makes sense, and you follow step by step throughout your day in the right direction. And how do you know what that right direction is? Vibrationally, you're more sensitive, and it's easier, but we all do it. You're following the path of least resistance. Now, to get to that sense of following least resistance into, like, beautiful, warm, fuzzy spots like this one, how did I get here? Not by getting in your car and driving. Vibrationally, how did I get here? You've got to let go of some things, and you've got to have the desire to get to a softer spot on this planet. The roughness, the suffering, the struggling, the fighting, the energetically, not fighting, but you know what I'm saying, that pushing on through difficulties and through struggles. It's the thinking mind's way to deal with it. If you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you just follow your bliss. You wouldn't ever be in that much struggle. You wouldn't have stuck it out. You'd only stick it out. Here's a good thought. Why would you stick it in? I just feel this one. You would stick it out through hard times, something difficult, bad job, bad relationship, bad whatever. And I'm not telling people to leave their relationship, but there's a lot of people that are in very dangerous, toxic relationships that should get out. But anyway, your past must be what's keeping you in. Maybe anticipation of the future, but the future doesn't hold as much. It just kind of has a vibration of fear. But the past is all twined up in complicated scenarios of what you think your parents thought about you and all that type of stuff. And how your scary view of church plays into the background of all this stuff, of feeling like you should be pursuing something softer in life. And then society's work hard, buckle down, anyway, so you know what I'm talking about, that different vibration. What's keeping us from wanting to find the softest spot? Now, one thought would be, like this beautiful area here, could we make it more friendly for people if a big storm came up, a little box here you'd jump into? Nah, why would you do that? But you get what I'm getting at. There's a lot of things that can make living in the woods a lot easier. Now, a lot of them you just go to REI and get them, but good waterproof shoes, pants that are totally waterproof with a zipper legs, so they're really easy to get on and off. You slip them right over top of whatever you're wearing. And then your heavy coat with a hood. You're good to go. And then I got a backpack with stuff in it, food and water. And the cool thing is, like when I get out of my car, I have Apple CarPlay in my car. When I unplug the car phone, it knows where my car was. And then when I'm in the woods, wherever I am tromping through the woods, I just pull up my map, and it shows me where my car is, and it shows me, I just turn my phone different directions, and it points me right back to my car. So technology is going to make being in nature easier. And I feel like this point of us getting tapped in, tuned in, turned on is where society is going. It's definitely the game. I'm pulling my arm and retracting it again, giving you a bigger view. But that's where we're going. There's no two ways about it. It's how fast, how, when, and all that stuff would depend on when do you want to get on the train. When do you want to start focusing on my slowing down, recognizing my moment, my breath, recognizing that my mind is racing and toiling over something and trying to just let it pass, not pushing it away, not blocking it, just letting it pass. And talking to your little, I call him my Danny body, about what's going on. You're feeling a little bit stressed. Why? Well, the wind's blowing and I feel like I'm going to get all wet sitting here, and I haven't put my waterproof pants on. In fact, they're back at the car, which is a mile away, and the last time the storm rolled in, it went from sunny like this and bang, it was crazy storm. But that's what my little Danny body's feeling right now. Very, very subtle. It's not making me want to get up. But just that kind of sensitivity to what's going on. And the part about inviting people to be more out in the woods is another caveat of teaching, of wanting to share with other people, like what's different, why am I able to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on. The woods definitely helps. The other point I was getting to with the Jesus thing and him being just on water and fasting, let's come down that paradigm of what foods are important to know about with spirituality. I think I started to touch on this and never finished it. So straight water's the strongest. They both are spiritual enlightenment and detoxing, ironically. So if you need to detox, this is the trick. But you won't overdo it, but you can overdo it because you would need to overdo it. You know, like if you just drank poison, then your detoxing is going to be like, let's go vomit on the floor and, you know, all that type of thing. And then your body goes into all kinds of weird stuff and it starts trying to get that, you know, dangerous chemical out of its system. But anyhow, let's just say you're in for some detoxing and some spirituality. You can mix and match, but let's go through it real quick. You got, coming down from the top, you got water, then you got juices, then you got solid fruits. Fruits have a vibration in them. Best, you know, is a whole solid fruit, but it has the maximum vibration. Call them electrolytes, whatever, but I think they're measured in Kelvin or something like that. But you can measure vibration of foods, and Tesla talked about all this stuff. Everything's energy and everything's electricity in his mind, but however you want to word it, this tuned in, tapped in, turned on connection is where all the good stuff is, where the happy days are, where these beautiful spots are found, where this beautiful spot is found in your life, not in so much in your day. Because sitting next to a plant can be it. It can be like, this is my blissful spot. You know, like creating an altar type of thing, you know, just put some plants around you. That's all you need. So, anyway, but you get to that point in your life where you just keep pursuing, not just dropping things like, well, I'm just going to not care about anything. That's the way it seems. That's what your thinking mind says. Well, don't do it. You're just going to be, you know, you're going to be walking the streets, living in the woods. No, it doesn't happen. You couldn't train your brain fast enough to make that kind of radical change. It's just, where are you going to lean? It's just a gentle lean. Let's just lean a little bit softer and a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more connected. So, that being said, I think like I should probably do a culmination, but I think we hit on some good points. And the wind does blow some clarity out of my mind. And it's all good. It's all about the love anyway, and it's all about the breathing and going in. But you're going to get funky things. You're going to get a little bit of, you know, your child 3 to 5 year old version of yourself pulling you along on your pinky, you're trying to be sensitive to what they're feeling at the moment. It's everything, not just has an effect. It's everything. It's all about that vibration and the vibration of love. So let's focus back, breathing, slow down, love yourself first. Always talking about your appreciation of the fact that you're there, that you're thinking about this at all. Hey, you checked in. Thank you. What a great guy for checking in. That's all good stuff. Then you just go into the litany of things that you love about yourself. And you feel it. And then you're just really riding the feeling. That the words will sort of fall away for sometimes, and then you just feel like just in this breath, just in this love vibration. And it's nothing better. So until I get everybody really totally committed to the journey, what's the point of pro tips and markers showing you're on your way? But that's coming. Because I'm going to find out a way where I can get a lot of people following behind me without me ever seeing them, and without me, you know, talking you through it. You're not going to be talked through it. You got to go this journey on your own. It's a lonely journey, but it's blissful. How do you have those two exist? I don't know, but they do. and it's worth it. And the clarity and the ability, here's a good one to end with, the ability to bring yourself to lovely spots in your life. That guidance of following the path of least resistance takes you to the most blissful spot and the happiest version of yourself that you could muster up. And there's no end to how you can keep going. So I can't think of any reason not to. Duty to your past is all I came up with. But to your past impressions of what you think you needed to be, that you've now carried and it's in your subconscious, and your subconscious is driving the machine because you're not focused on the moment. So go within, breath, love, now look out. Oh, it's fine. Leave it all alone, it's fine. Alright, see you guys. Have a great day, and till next time.